Hi everyone and welcome to story time of my first rat. And that's right, singular rat. This is before I learned anything. So I have my very old scrapbook here with some pictures. There's not very many pictures of my first rat. So he was, I will do like a kind of zoomed in version, but this is him here. So he was a pink-eyed white and his name was Monty. I mean the picture quality is not good, so when I take a picture of this crappy picture, you probably can't see much, but that was my first rat called Monty. So the way I came about getting him was I've always been an animal lover, and there was a gentleman who was employed by my granddad, and he came to me one day and he said, "My neighbour has a rat that they don't want anymore, would you be interested?" And obviously my first thought was, yeah, like I love animals, 100%. I'd never considered a rat as a pet, didn't even cross my mind. I wasn't horrified at the thought, I was just, yeah, I want this rat. So we went to visit the neighbour, we saw the rat, and my mum was fine with me getting it because I can't remember exactly how old I was. I've always said I was maybe like 10 or 11, but I'm really not very sure. I was quite, young anyway, but I was still old enough to understand the responsibility of having a pet. So my mum said I could have this rat called Monty. I'm just trying to flick to like the next picture I want to show you. So Monty came with his setup, which was a tank, which was probably about, guessing it's maybe like about 80 wide, maybe like 40 or 50 deep if you're lucky. This is sort of centimetres. I don't have a picture of Monty in it, and again I will show you this picture, but that is the corner of the tank in this one down here, which has two other rats in it, Cookie and Nibbler. They came later down the line. But basically it came in a tank, so very poor ventilation. It had a plastic lid on the top which literally just had lots of little holes essentially drilled into it. In the centre of the lid there was like a rope that just kind of hung down and had a little kind of knot in the bottom. That was like what he had to play with. So he had this rope that hung down in the middle of his tank, a shoebox house, so that's what he slept in. What else did it have? Oh, there was like a cardboard tube, like it was only about like that size. It was big enough for him to fit in. Obviously he wasn't an adult male, he was full grown when I got him. Although I don't know exactly how old he was, so it was thick enough that he could fit through this tube. He was kept on, I mean I just bought him like shavings, so wood shavings. It wasn't dust extracted, it wasn't kiln dried, and quite often because of the smell I would give him scented ones as well, which was even worse for him. He had no companionship, anything. So of course I knew nothing about rats when I took him on. At that point the internet, this is showing my age, the internet had only sort of just recently come in, was just being a thing. I mean, we're talking dial-up. And again, that's really showing my age, talking about dial-up internet. I mean, I still remember the noise. So access to like information is not like it is now. I didn't know other people that, had rats. I didn't really know how to care for them. I just went in and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll work this out. I probably went to Pets at Home and, got the little flyer of, here's how you care for your pet rat, and, went from that thinking that was the be-all, end-all. I believe the earliest food I can remember feeding it was a muesli, and it was by Burgess, I never remember how to pronounce their company exactly. They don't do it anymore because they only do the nuggets now, but they used to do a muesli version, so I used to buy that. So I want to say that, I mean, that might not have been what I fed him at the time because I don't remember exactly, but that's the earliest food I can remember buying for my rats, is this muesli. So yeah, that was interesting. I believe I started trying to find more about rats at that point, so really, I really enjoyed having him. I remember him being a grumpy little soul as well. Like, he had this weird thing where I could pick him out the tank once and play with him and he was fine, but it's like if you put him back and then you thought, oh, I want to play with him again, then he would bite you, but not like in a bad way. I think he was more just like mouthing you, kind of warning you, kind of holding you. So I mean, he wasn't a cuddly rat by any means, but I would say he certainly put something in my mind that obviously set me off the rest of my life to now be breeding rats and loving rats. I don't remember how long I had him. I don't remember, exactly how long it was till he passed away. But at that point, I hadn't considered getting any more or anything like that. The time that I actually started keeping rats sort of permanently came when I pet sat for a friend who had, again, one rat, this time in a hamster cage. And after the holiday, I think I kept her for 2 weeks, and after the holiday, I'd fallen in love with her. Like, I was obsessed with this rat. This second rat was called Candy. And I do actually have a picture of Candy. Again, just flicking back through my book. So yeah, I was absolutely obsessed. Do you know what? I'll take a picture. You literally won't be able to see it here. So I'll take a picture of, again, a picture of Candy. That's probably a better one up there. She was this kind of Berkshire. Again, I'm sorry, you won't really see that very well, but she's there. So I would say that Monty was obviously my first introduction to rats, and then Candy being my second. She was the one, I think, that really pulled my heartstrings and made me realise I want rats. Like, I want them in my life. And I'm pleased to say that I did, after Candy, start learning, because I got access to, to more forums on the internet, and learning that they should have friends. So I started to keep larger groups at that point, as in, like, I would keep trios. And then I think I slowly progressed, like 4 or 5, etc. But I think really the point of this story was just to let you know that it's okay to do things wrong, because we all do these things. Like, I think we are blessed in a way with the internet that we have today, because there's so much knowledge out there, but there is also the wrong knowledge. And I think it's just important to remember that it's okay to do things wrong, but it's good to take on board advice if someone's helping you or offering you a better way to care for your animal. So I started to learn a lot more, obviously, about rats over the years. And now I would say I'm quite happy with where I am in terms of their care. I wouldn't say I know everything, but I would say that I am definitely open to learning, and if someone makes a suggestion to me, then I am 100% open to learning from that as well. But yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting to actually tell you about my first rat, tell you everything that I did wrong, because I'm sure some people see all my videos as they are now and they think, wow, like, you're really knowledgeable, you know all these things, and yeah, maybe do now, but I didn't to start with, and it's okay. It's okay to look back at these times where you did things wrong and just move on from them and go, yeah, I bettered myself since then. So yeah, let me know how, what was your story with your first rat? Did you get them more recently, whereas you knew that they needed to? So, you probably did things the way I'm doing it now, and that was your first rat. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little story time, tell you about Monty, and just give you a little bit of a kind of brief history as to how I actually got introduced to rats, and how I ended up being, like, now breeding them. So it kind of just escalated from, that first rat, Monty. He kind of broke the ice, and then, as I said, moving on to pet sitting Candy, and it just climbed from there. So I hope you enjoyed this little story time. I will insert some pictures at the end of this so you can kind of see. Please remember, they are not going to be good quality photos. Like, they're very many years old on like a camera that, you took the picture and then you had to actually send the spool away and wait for your photos to come back. You never knew what you were getting. So yeah, the quality's not good, but I will put in a couple of pictures just to let you see the one picture I do have of Monty and the picture that I have of Candy, which is my second rat. So thank you if you listened to my little rambling story. I don't know if you want to know more of these, if these are like quite fun to you to find out kind of history of, what's been going on in my life and rats. But yes, if you got this far, well done, thank you, and I'll see you in whatever my next video is. Bye.